Hey, welcome everybody. This is Mark Dannenberg with Options Moneymaker. This is the question and answer session for February 10th, 2021. Again, I'm Mark Dannenberg. Aaron Rumley and Michael Kastner are with me, and they'll be joining us here on Audible when we get into the Q&A. So if you're brand new to the Options Moneymaker Q&A session, we designed this Q&A session specifically to help those of you who are immersing yourself in learning how to trade, whether you're learning how to trade options or whether you're learning how to trade futures. We have education programs and we have systems and tools that support your learning and support your desire to be successful with trading and be profitable. So we realize that sometimes when you're learning through online uh, self-study courses or on-demand courses, that there are questions that come up that you can't easily get answered um, without having somebody to talk to. So we make ourselves available every other week, and you can chat with us. You can ask us questions. We'll help reinforce your learning. Questions about the adaptive entry system, which we support on behalf of New Cycle Trading. Every day we show the adaptive entry system in the live trading room, and we describe the signals. We call out the signals as they're occurring. Michael and Aaron are identifying when it's appropriate to go short, when it's appropriate to go long, as we're trading the NASDAQ 100 futures on a 5-minute chart. And we can answer a lot of questions about the adaptive entry system. The live trading room, if you have other questions about the live trading room, is pretty straightforward. It is designed for real-time trading and support. We're trading live, we're trading these signals live. We take losses on some signals, we take profits on a lot of signals, and at the end of the day, we tally up what the overall result is. But we have a very in-depth tool that Aaron created for us that helps us track the performance of every single component of the adaptive entry system strategy, and it allows us to do an extensive amount of evaluation, both in terms of performance by time frame throughout the day, as well as the strategies, whether you're trading a portion of the strategies within the system or you're trading all of the strategies, all of the entries and signals within the system. We provide a futures trading education course for learning the risk and reward of futures, how to properly trade futures. Futures trading is something that is foreign to a lot of people, and it puts a lot of people off who don't understand it. And if you don't understand it, it's something that a lot of people fear and are apprehensive about. We specifically focus in our education for futures on learning the risk and reward of futures and how to manage and control that risk. And then we always promote and encourage people to, when they start trading, trade in simulation mode for maybe even as much as a month, sometimes longer than that, whatever it takes for you to feel confident in your application of what you learned and learning how to properly interpret the signals from the adaptive entry system. Personal Trading Plan is the tool that is designed to help you view your trading as a business. Most small businesses, in fact, corporations, when I was back in my old corporate days, on a monthly basis, we would review our financials. We'd review our P&L. We'd look at what our current actual performance was. We'd look at what the forecast was to date and how we were comparing to that forecast. And then we'd look at out into the future and see if we continue to operate at this particular run rate, where will we finish for the year? So I took that same concept and applied it to building a personal trading plan. And you're going to see that here in just a minute. But it's designed to track your personal profit performance. Trading is one of those businesses, one of those activities for people that can be very volatile in terms of your own personal emotional roller coaster. If you have a really good day, you have a strong performing day, you're feeling euphoric, you're feeling really good, feel like nothing's ever going to break this. And if you have a bad day, meaning you had losses that day, you start to feel a little discouraged. You question what you're doing. There's a very steep emotional roller coaster that can occur with trading. We help you look beyond that. We help you look at the big picture and what will your current performance run rate, which is a combination of both wins and losses, profits and losses, what will that run rate project out for a 12-month, 52-week time frame? And if you are on pace to have a reasonable income based on what you started with, then you just keep doing what you're doing and continue to refine it, and let us help you refine that in the live trading room. But if you have questions about the personal trading plan here, we're happy to respond to those. And then those of you who are interested in options education, we have the Profit Builder Plus program for options traders. If you've never traded options, you want to learn how to trade, Profit Builder Plus is a perfect place for you to start. If you've been trading options for years, you're just not quite comfortable with what you're doing, Profit Builder Plus is the perfect place to start. We actually start at the very beginning of knowledge and understanding that you need to trade options successfully, as simple as what is a strike, what is an expiration, all the way then graduating through multiple sessions into how to trade spreads and advanced spreads. So Profit Builder Plus is a great place for you to start. So if you have questions about any of those things or anything else that we actually promote, encourage, teach here at Options Moneymaker or on behalf of New Cycle Trading, please feel free to ask us. Now, one of the things I do here in the Q&A is I update our personal trading plan. So I mentioned the personal trading plan and how important it is in terms of viewing your trading as a business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to our performance tracking. Oops, hold on right here. So I'm going to pull up performance tracking. So on this performance tracking tool, and kudos to Aaron for building this for us, what we do is on a daily basis, we track the detail of every single trade all the way from 3 a.m. Eastern till we discontinue trading at the end of the day, which is usually sometime between 3 and 4 o'clock. We track what time the trade came on. We track whether it was a long or short. And remember, what we're tracking here specifically for the purposes of teaching people how to use the adaptive entry system is we're tracking performance on the NASDAQ 100 futures. Each point of movement on the NASDAQ 100 futures is a $20 value per contract. So if it moves 5 points favorably, that's $100 of profit. If it moves 10 points unfavorably, that's $200 of loss, and we record all of those throughout the day. We have wins and losses throughout every single day, and at the end of the day, we tally up what that performance is. Now, the reason we focus on the 5-minute chart for NQ is because it gives us a lot of opportunity throughout the day to discuss the different signals. There's 4 primary signals that can comprise the adaptive entry system, and it gives us, Aaron, Michael, and myself, plenty of opportunity to discuss what those signals mean, how to interpret those signals, how to anticipate which signal might be coming on, how to prepare yourself for the signal if you're going to go long, going to go short. Now, the adaptive entry system is very adaptable, as the name implies, and you can use it for trading options on stocks. I've periodically profiled Amazon and Google and Tesla using the adaptive entry system. You can use it on 10-minute, 30-minute charts. 10 and 30 are my preferences when trading options. You can use this on 3-minute charts if you want to trade shorter time frames when you're trading futures. You can use it on pretty much any futures contract that you choose. ES, which is the S&P 500 futures, or RTY, which is the Russell 2000 futures, or even oil, gas, the metals, whatever you have a preference to trade. But once you learn how to properly interpret the adaptive entry system signals, how to trade them, and understand it with confidence, then you can trade whatever you want. But we use the NASDAQ 100 futures as a way to profile the system, not as a way to say it really only applies to the NASDAQ 100 futures. So we're going to jump back over to our performance tracking here, and you'll see that we have the detail. I'm going to go back to 7 a.m. here. That's when most people start paying attention to it. From 7 a.m. forward, and you can see all the detail tracking. We've got the time, we've got whether we were long or short. This is trading on a 5-minute chart. We've got the strategy, consensus signals, momentum signals, fractals, trend bias signals, and then we've got the profit or loss from that particular trade, and it's stated in terms of a point value, remembering that each point is worth $20. So it's $20 a point for the NASDAQ 100 futures. We also track the drawdown, meaning we know that sometimes, well, most of the time, when we get into a position, there is some amount of movement unfavorable for us at some point while we're holding the position. For example, this position at 10:40 this morning, we went short on a continuation signal. We ended up taking 5 points of profit on it, but it moved 12 3/4 points against us first. So we keep track of the drawdowns, and we have a tremendous amount of data now built into this tracking tool, which allows us to extrapolate all sorts of analyses and conclusions, which help us help you be better traders. So now that we've got all the detail there, we come to this really easy to read summary. The summary is just presented as a summarization of the day. And we've got different categories that we track. So those of you who followed along with us for a while know that we track 2 primary categories. And again, these 2 primary categories were selected as a way to demonstrate for you the value of using the personal trading plan and recording your data on a daily basis. This category we track from 9:30 to noon. We focus on people who don't want to trade all day. They have 2.5 hours or so that they're willing to devote to their trading, and they're taking all of the adaptive entry system signals. That's 4 signals. They're taking all of those signals throughout the day from 9:30 to 12. And we take a look at the total number of points, profit or loss that are incurred during the day. This category is from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. or whenever we cease trading. One moment, folks. And we're only taking the trend bias trades and continuation signals. So that's only 2 of the 4 signals. And again, we take a look at what the performance is at the end of the day, summarization for the day, take a look at the total number of trades and what our win-loss ratio is for those particular days. Now we're always going to have, a variation of plus days and minus days. We've had some really strong plus days. We've had a couple of bigger losing days, but overall, we continue to average positively. So here we're averaging 22.77 points a day since we started tracking in this format. So those are the 2 categories that I'm going to focus on. I'm just going to add here real quick that we're going to add a 3rd category here in the next week or so. And we're going to start tracking in a personal trading plan the 8:45 a.m. to the end of the market day, all plus fractals. And we're going to start that as of January 4th. And that way you're going to be able to see exactly what we are doing throughout the live trading room. So here we're tracking from 7 to 4, and here we're tracking from 9:30 to 12, but our live trading room opens at 8:45. So if you want to join the room, stay with us throughout the day until we say we're done trading for the day. We're going to start that as of January 4th. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is pull up the personal trading plan. And this is what the personal trading plan looks like. Everything shaded in blue is our history. That's what has defined our run rate. Now, I'm going to log today's performance, and there are 2 categories here. This is the 7 to 4 trend bias and continuation signals. And this tab is the live trading room. This tab is the 9:30 to noon all signals. So in the 7 to 4 category, we lost 18 points today. And so that 18 points at $20 a point, 18 times $20 a point, and we're trading 3 contracts. So it's $20 per contract, and we're trading 3 contracts. So we're going to jump back over to our personal trading plan, and we're going to scroll over to where we enter our daily performance, and we're going to put in a minus $1,080, and we did 15 trades at 3 contracts per trade, so 45 contracts. Then we're going to come over here to the contract override field, and we're going to lock in 3. We traded 3 contracts today. We're locking it at 3 so that if we do any kind of future speculation or forecasting, we're not interfering with our historical numbers. So I'm going to come over to our 9:30 to noon category, and on the same day, which concluded today, let's see here, we had 19 points of profit. So 19 points of profit times $20 a point is $1,140. And we had 10 trades at 3 contracts per trade, so it was 30 contracts. All right, so now it comes the analysis, and I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Most of you have seen this before, and you can certainly review it on the recording. But now we have a couple of things that we go take a look at. We are 31.6 weeks now through a 52-week forecast, 52-week personal trading plan. During that 31.6 weeks, we've had 52 losing days. By default, all other days are winning days. All other days were profitable. But we keep track of both. These two numbers show me what the value of, or what the average value of a winning day is and what the average value of a losing day is. And those winning and losing averages take into account the frequency of losses versus wins. So it's not just a straight average, it's taking into account, comprehending the frequency of our losses relative to a 31.6 week history. All right, so this is what we call our run rate. Our run rate is extremely important, and it's what you should focus on in terms of your viewing your performance on a daily and weekly basis. So now we want to figure out, well, what is the balance of our 52-week plan going to look like? How do I forecast? What numbers do I use? Well, you're 31.5 weeks through a 52-week plan. So I'm going to want to assume that the rest of my weeks leading up to 52 weeks are going to average somewhere around the same numbers. So I'm going to take those same values and put them right here. These two numbers are what we're going to use forecasting forward. These are my historical run rates. So 22.29 is my positive run rate, and minus 40.69 is my negative run rate. Oops. Well, that's really not the right number. 40.69. Sorry, this is all human error. 40.69. There we go. Minus 40.69. Now, on first glance, you might think, how can you possibly be making money? You know, you're losing more on your losing days than you're winning on your winning days. That's true, except that we have a fraction of losing days versus the winning days. We have a very, very strong history of winning days through using the adaptive entry system. Now, we're also capping out our contracts at 3 contracts. I'll come back and talk about that in just a moment. But this number right here is what the personal trading plan is projecting. It's taking into account what the average run rate is, wins and losses, and it's taking into account now the future forecast based on those same run rates. And based on the fact that we are not going to increase our contracts beyond 3. We started at 1 contract back the first week of July. The personal trading plan graduated us up to 2 contracts, graduated us to 3 contracts, and then we've decided to max ourselves out at 3 contracts for the balance of our 52 weeks. This projects out $144,487 income over a 12-month period, and this is an account that started with $5,000. The value in trading futures is simply that you can continue to compound your profits and compound your returns over a 12-month period. You're using the same capital base. You're going to have losses along the way. You're going to give back some of what you earned earlier. those days are days you don't focus on the day. You don't focus on the big winning days either. You focus on what your run rates are, because over a period of time, if you can establish a positive run rate for yourself and then project that forward, it's reasonable to expect that you can continue to perform at that same level. And in this case, 9:30 to noon, working 2.5 hours a day, is projecting that an income of potentially $144,000. I say potentially because we're only 31.6 weeks in. These run rate averages might increase or decrease in the next several weeks. I don't think this far in, we're over halfway through our 52-week plan, that these numbers are going to change dramatically, but they will change. And that's why it's important that you update this on a regular basis. We recommend that you update it on a daily basis. Now, our other category, which is trading from 7 to 4 Eastern time, 7 till we stop trading Eastern time. We're also through 31.5 weeks. We've had 50 losing days in the first 31.6 weeks. That means that the rest of the days are positive days. Our positive run rate average is 28.29 points per day. Remember, that's $20 a point. And this number takes into account the number of winning days, the frequency of winning days relative to weeks. Our losing day average is 37.04. So I'm going to adjust our forecast numbers to 28.29, and I'm going to adjust our losing day forecast to minus, sorry, that is the wrong number right there, minus 37.04. Okay, so that losing day average went up just a little bit from what it was last Friday when we did this update. That's okay. We're capped at 3 contracts, and our 12-month forecast is $230,651. Again, this account started with $5,000. So this is all the process of tallying up our winning days, our losing days, establishing our run rate. The personal trading plan is doing all of this for you, and then using those same run rates to project forward. Now, one last thing, and I'm going to get to the Q&A, the questions here. The number of contracts that you're trading has a 2-factor limitation. Number one is 10%. 10% of the balance of the account is available to be allocated to the margin requirement for contracts. At the broker that we trade at, Infinity Futures, each contract has a margin requirement of $500. So for trading 3 contracts, we have a $1,500 margin requirement. In order for us to trade $1,500 of margin requirement, we need a minimum of $15,000 in the account. That's the 10% factor. We consider that to be a very reasonable risk limitation, very conservative. So that is a number that we set at 10%. You can set it at whatever you want. It's coded in blue, which means it's a field that you can change. You can set it at whatever you choose. But the second limitation is just an arbitrary, you state no more than X number of contracts. So right now, I mean, we have $137,000 in the account. We could be trading a margin of $13,700, and we're not doing anywhere near that. We're doing $1,500, and we only need $15,000 in the account. Well, at some point, there's a practical maximum number of contracts that you may want to put in there. If I wanted to put in 50, which I do not recommend, the personal trading plan is going to graduate you up to 50, but it's not going to take you to 50 immediately. If I put 50 in there because I'm feeling really comfortable with my trading, I'm 31.6 weeks through my 52-week plan, it won't change the prior numbers. Those are all locked at 3. That's where we traded. But it will start to increase me gradually, and it will increase me based on the 10% of the balance of the account being available for margin. And eventually I get up to 50 contracts. Well, that drives a really, really big number. And, that's a nice number. I don't think 50 is a practical number of contracts to be trading on NQ. If you wanted to trade 10 contracts, somewhere between 1 to 10, I think is reasonable. It certainly increases the forecast here from 230,000 to 451. It'll only change the contracts going forward. I think 3 is a very reasonable max. It's a conservative max, in my opinion, and it's an easy number to trade. And I just have to ask the question, do you really need more if you started with $5,000 and you're right now projected to be over 230,000 over the next 12 months? I can't guarantee you're going to be at 230,000 or more. It's all going to be based on whether these run rate numbers, as you continue to trade each day, increase, become more favorable, or decrease, become less favorable. But you're more than halfway through the plan now, the 52-week plan. It's highly unlikely that they're going to change to a point where it would be extremely impactful to your forecast. So you're starting to get to a point now. You're more than 6 months. You're 7 months into your plan. You're starting to get to a point where you have some reasonable confidence in terms of a range of your trading income for the 12-month period. So that's the personal trading plan. I think it's an extremely critical tool for every trader to have, and I would invite you to download the trading plan and incorporate it into your personal trading.